that this also helps bring an awareness to gun violence.
I hope
you know,
so,
because I can't tell you enough how they never want their death to define their life.
Yeah.
But within how she passed, there's going to be opportunities to bring awareness to bigger things. It's going to help a lot of people.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Before you go, like, can you tell us, like, next week's, like, lotto numbers?
You know, they're on the back of this book.
They are?
And if I showed you...
Just leave it here. Don't say it out loud.
I have to bring you through.
Okay, that's fine.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you need a drink after, there's options. Stay safe.
Have an amazing rest of your day.
Bye. I think it was nice to get that confirmation that, she is still beaming.
She's still out there dancing around.
That's really, really what I wanted to hear.
It was a sorority sister who died in the Las Vegas shooting. On the way here, I was getting this feeling of, like, inebriation. And, people were drinking heavily.
Oh, yeah, you were saying not clear in the head, and you weren't sure.
When I sat there, I could tell, like, she had been drinking.
So she was giving you what it was like
being there
at the moment.
I am fascinated by the idea of any way that I can expedite what I do on a daily basis. In my job, I scribble. That's how I connect. But if I can have a place that I can go into before I do a reading that might help me get more clearer impressions, of course I'm going to try it. So I built the psychomantic with my dad. It's coming together. Oh, just so masculine. All the testosterone. Psychomantium is based off of an ancient process of communicating with higher forces, dating back to the Greek days, ancient Greece, necropolises, places where people would go, grieving people, to try to connect with their loved ones who passed. The idea is that we would go into a space. Back then it was typically subterranean, under the ground, in caves, and would be enshrouded in darkness. This would allow them to have experiences where they would see things or feel things that they wouldn't normally feel. Psychomantium simply emulates that in a more modern way. The process involves going into the room and spending about 45 minutes to an hour gazing into a mirror that's situated in such a way that it does not reflect the reflection back at you. Most people report seeing impressions. Sometimes they're colors, sometimes they're symbols. More interestingly, sometimes people will see faces and full-on apparitions of people that they once knew, and sometimes people they didn't. So my job as a medium feels like it's a natural segue into going to this space and trying to see what I can get and if it'll differ from what an everyday person might perceive. For the first 10, 15 minutes or so, I didn't really feel much internally or externally. I didn't see anything. And then as it kind of progressed, it actually kind of got a little overwhelming. I felt something touch my shoulder. I saw in the mirror like a hand. I got a reference to a lady with a mole on her upper lip area. There was a reference to grease. I was seeing it in the word grease in white letters. Felt the presence of a grandfather figure. I saw a man with brown hair that was longer.
Wow.
Younger man, living, not dead. That was weird. I was expecting to see dead people, but I was having visions of living people. When I do a reading, I often will touch on people who are both living and past. And as a medium, I talk to people who passed. But oftentimes their messages involve the living, people who are still here. And through that process of communicating with the other side, I can often get information about people who are still here. Their well-being, what they're up to, what they've done, sometimes issues they're dealing with in the present moment. Those messages are meaningful too. It doesn't always have to come from the other side. It was definitely an experience. It felt like the closest thing to doing drugs that I will ever do, in all honesty. Because, I'm pretty vanilla, but my biggest takeaway from the psychomantium is that it can induce visions internally. And that was totally not what I was expecting. I was expecting anything I saw that was significant to be in the mirror in front of me. But it seems to act as a conduit to kind of get a person in that state of mind where they're more receptive. Thank you all for having me. This is beautiful.
Thank you for inviting us.
Absolutely.
Thank God it's not a dream anymore.
I know.
That I have a reading with you because I saw you in my dreams reading.
Amazing.
Yeah.
It was a premonition. It was meant to be.
Yeah.
So, I have something to tell you.
Stop!
Last night, I was testing out this room that I have where I basically meditate and connect. And I had no idea that I was meeting with you today. But I saw a reference to a Greek man, and I was seeing long, luxurious brown hair.
Are you serious?
And yes,
Wow.
clearly, like, this was divinely meant to happen, and it gives me the chills to even talk about. But I'm very excited. I already have a lot coming in, so I'm going to kind of try to get through that. My question is, do either of you have anyone in common, or are you completely separate?
I know there are people, but
Okay.
they're separate.
They're
They don't know
separate.
each other.
Gotcha.
The producer says you can bring only one person, and I said I can't choose. I can't do that to my friend because I already told her it's no way that I can take care of and bring someone else that it's very important. Instead, if the next day the producer called, saying, okay, you can bring the second guest with you.
Okay, that helps, because I'm going to kind of try to separate in the way this comes across. Did we bring any objects
Yes.
today? Cool.
Yes.
We can put them all out on the table. Perfect. We can put that there. What I'll do is I'll hold this first, if you don't mind.
This one.
Yeah. And we'll see what comes in. Do you have a connection to March at all?
March is
Any birthdays
my
or
birthday on March.
Okay, cool. Random. All right. Let's see. Huh. I wonder, do we know of any Christos at all?
Christos, yes.
Yeah, who would that be?
My father.
Your father.
Oh, everybody's so weird.
Yeah, I know.
So
It's
conversation.
So interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going here. Okay. Okay. I have this mother figure that comes in that isn't for you, but is for one of you two. Somebody who basically would have been like the biggest mom figure in the world. It's the only way I can describe it. And I don't know why that comes in so strongly, but I feel like I have to highlight that. Do either of you have any connections familially to New York at all?
You said New York.
New York.
I'm not New York City.
Correct, yes,
Okay.
the state of New York. It's really interesting when it comes across. She does reference to a number of females that are connected to her. So usually when that happens, it'll refer to if somebody has a number of daughters, if there's like the 2 or 3 girls in the family, if there's like, basically seeing a lot of estrogen.
Right.
a lot of strong female
Yes.
characters. Do you know if she had any children at all?
Yes.
Do you know if she had girls?
Yes.
Oh, good. Do we know if there would have been at least, I keep going like 2 to 3. Do you know how many?
Yes. She has one that she gave birth to,
Gotcha.
and she adopted one.
I love that. Okay, gotcha. She very much gives me this impression of being okay with her duration of life. The thing that happened, though, was interesting. Some people were kind of geographically distanced from her at the time of her death, so they just received word that she
What?
passed.
Oh my
And
God.
it is weird because she's like, it's fine, not a big deal. I get a very much kind of a matter-of-fact feeling. I'm like, it's okay. I don't need people to be there.
That is true.
So that's
That
something
is
that.
absolutely true.
Well, let me see what this is, because she's bringing up a situation where she passes, but then somebody's not able to be there. So where were you and where was she at the time of her passing?
In Neuilly, France.
Okay, so you both were together?
We were together.
Gotcha. When we talk about her kids, the two girls, was anybody not there? Did somebody not get to make it?
None of her kids were there.
None of her kids were there. Oh.
But at her request.
Yes. Okay, there's that. She also, so this is gonna sound weird, but there's some connection. I keep getting kind of a famous feeling. And anytime I get a famous feeling, usually indicates that somebody's either renowned or connected to celebrities or connected to like an iconic historical figure or you kind of get the gist with it. Like,
You're right on.
Okay, talking about kind of the big life. Big life.
Yes.
In the way it comes across. Very much kind of feels very like regal is the way I would describe it.
That's a good word.
Yeah, I was just gonna say somebody is
Regal.
either related, and this is gonna take this a step further. I think she either met royalty, knew royalty, something about that crosses paths. Because when we think of celebrities on TV, it's one thing. I'm not quite getting that feeling. I'm talking about dignitaries, people of status, and that comes through. There is an interesting reference, and this may not click right now, but I think there's a Ruth. You know the name Ruth?
Oh, yes.
Do you know who Ruth is?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yes.
I have to highlight Ruth
Yes.
in the way this comes across. A really interesting lady. Clearly comes across like a force of nature. And I want you to know
She's
that.
been called that before.
I believe it. I
Yes.
believe it.
Yes, she's been known for that.
So I'm curious to know who Mom is.
Okay, so she was like my mother, my grandmother, my best friend, and I learned so much. Yeah, you're very young, so
Yes.
you might not know.
Oh.
But this is who she is. Yes.
Are you kidding me? Oh.
I think there's a Ruth.
Oh, yes.
Do you know who Ruth is?
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
You're very young, so
Yes.
you might not know.
Oh.
But this is who she is. Yes.
Betty Davis. I was always a fan of her over Joe Crawford. I will put that on the record here right now. She was my favorite.
Well, she somehow brought me to you. I worked for her for 10 years up until she passed.
Oh.
Yeah. And then when she got the cancer, everything changed.
Yeah.
She had cancer, she had a stroke. So,
Yeah.
yeah, but in the end, she went in great glory.
Wow, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she was amazing. She still is. I always.
Absolutely, she
So,
still is. So the Ruth that came through, help me understand that.
Betty Davis's full name is Ruth Elizabeth Davis. Now I'll show you one thing.
Yes, yes.
I did not want to show this. He said, no,
Yeah.
because if I showed it,
Yeah.
you would know.
Right.
But there was years ago a show called This Is Your Life.
Wow.
And this was hers.
Okay.
So this is Betty Davis winning all her Oscar nominations.
Wow.
Okay, so you can look at it.
Thank you.
Yes, this is when her birthday is. This is when she got married. That's when she had Beatty. This was hers. This was hers. And I thought, okay, come on in.
Wow, she sure did. So I think some of the things that came through today are just to validate that she is indeed still in existence.
Oh, yes.
Still around,
Yeah.
very much a strong personality, but she just kind of brought through a lot about her legacy, being remembered
Yep.
in a big way, and how we carry the torch moving forward with honoring her. And it's interesting because when it comes to that, that's going to be all on you.
It is.
So I know that's a weird thing to say, but it's not like
No,
a group
you are
effort.
right
It's
on.
all you. And in
So
doing that,
she's blessing.
Yes.
She's with me, which
yes, she wouldn't trust anybody except you to do this.
That's true.
And you need to know that. My kind of takeaway from that message is like you're on the right track. I feel like the right people are going to be involved. It's going to happen, but you needed that. So.
I cannot thank you enough.
Of course.
I cannot thank you
Oh my
enough.
goodness, absolutely. I'm like still in shock. That's so cool. And what an
Well, I'm very grateful to you. I knew I
You were
didn't
on
know
point.
why, but
You were on point.
yeah,
That's what
you
I
were
was
so
shocked.
and I have been very doubtful,
Sure.
totally doubtful.
Yeah.
And you gave me confirmation.
Oh,
Thank you.
It's amazing. Oh, I'm gonna carry this day with me literally for the rest of my life. I mean, that's so special. I'll see you later.
Thank you so
Bye,
much.
Tyler.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Amazing.
To our loved ones and Tyler for bringing us all together today.
Of all the celebrities that have come through, Betty Davis is by far my favorite.
I believe she wanted me here because she had something to say. Just the way it came about.
Hey, do you want to know who came through today?
Tell me.
Betty Davis.
No way.
We're gonna talk about it.
I
Betty
cannot
Davis came through
No way.
today.
That's crazy, Tyler.
You know what's weird?
What?
In the Psycho Man team yesterday, when I came out, I said I had a vision of a woman with a very distinct birthmark spot.
Yeah.
Like it looked like a bullet right on her upper lip area.
You said that? Oh my God. No
Betty
way.
Davis rolling.
She was coming to you yesterday?
Baby Jane was with a very unique birthmark right directly above the lip. Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Insane. All right.
Alright, now I just need to find out where. Oh, wait, look it, they're
Yeah,
buttons.
it's all there, isn't it? That's very high tech.
Wait. Oh, I don't want to go in reverse though. But wait. Okay. Alright.
There's a learning curve.
Every car
We're getting there.
is different.
I had a dream last night of burning alive, which was really pleasant.
That you were?
Yeah, it was like, well, shit.
What does burning usually signify? Well, that like image of the phoenix rising from a fire, right? Like you burn everything down and then
Yeah.
you rise from the fire. I'm sure that you and your mom are feeling stuff now, that you're processing and feeling emotions, and that might just be part of your subconscious working through some of that stuff. Because you guys are, in a sense, saying goodbye to the ancestry you thought was you.
Right. Wow, that was deep. That's very insightful. Because that very well could be what it is.
Are you getting any new vibes
Nothing new,
now that we are in the vicinity?
Oh, whoa, that's a train.
Mm-hmm.
I was having visions of like intersections, like where roads intersect. Warehouse.
I know, where are we? It doesn't look like you're going to a house.
True psychic ability here is to be figuring out where I'm going.
Well, the pin is pointing to this thing right here.
Gotcha. Okay. Interesting. Huh. Okay.
I don't know.
So we're gonna go this way. All right. Well, I have to use my intuition to find out where I'm going, and that way I guess the reading starts early.
I appreciate you being a good sport. I mean, like, what the hell? I trust you a lot, obviously. Clearly.
Hi, how's it going?
Hi, how are you?
How's it going? It's so good to see you. How are you?
Hi. Hey, what's up?